Hey guys, what's going on? It's a rainy day in Maryland. We're going to go for a drive and test drive the FSD to see if performance is degraded in poor weather, which I often get warnings that it is. So we're going to keep safe, but we're going to try it out to see if it's as bad as they say it is, or as the warning implies that it is, or if it's a lot better. And it's just a warning so you don't get complacent, which you never should when you're on FSD anyways. So we're gonna give it a shot because the sensors are no longer available on a 2023 model for the Model Y or any of the Tesla models that Elon Musk had previously put in these cars. He's banking on AI and camera technology to take us to the forefront. Any previous generation cars, hardware 2 and 3, that had the sensors have been deactivated. So all the cars are now working off of the same camera / AI type stuff, because that's what Elon's banking on going forward. So hope it works out. I'm an FSD owner, and as you can see, a brand new Model Y long range owner. So I really hope the technology works out, because I do believe the FSD is the future. So let's give it a shot. Here we go. FSD Autopilot. And I get the warning, full self-drive may be degraded. Message received. Poor weather detected. Fair enough. I'm going to keep an eye on things, as I always do, regardless of whether or not we have bad weather. So, okay, good first turn here. One of the things I noticed with the latest software update is that the wipers, oddly enough, they're not auto-detecting rain anymore, so I have to turn them on manually. So that's kind of interesting. I'm just going to message received on that alert about poor weather, so I'm going to turn it off. Let's see how it goes. So I have to turn the wipers on. Small detail, they'll fix it with the next update, I'm sure. Interesting that it's in the left only lane here. Usually it goes to the right lane, the not only turn left lane. I know I said that incorrectly, but that's one of the things I've noticed that degraded here, most likely because of poor weather. Made it into the roundabout okay. Came to a stop in the middle, pissed off the driver behind us, so I had to give it a little bit of acceleration for it to move forward. The driver had to go to the other way. He didn't have to follow me, but I guess he was perturbed by the fact that this thing slowed him down. Fair enough. I would be upset too. I have to look at the footage to see if it came to a complete stop or it just slowed down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it just slowed down, but I'll have to check the footage later. First time I've gotten a honk since getting this car. In all these years. Month, if you will. But that was pretty interesting, so I don't blame him for doing that one. I don't think it was unsafe per se. I mean, you have to drive pretty slowly in a roundabout anyway, so it was more of an inconvenience than a safety thing, in my opinion. But again, I don't blame him for getting upset. So even though I'm holding onto the wheel, which usually is enough, as the wheel moves back and forth, it feels the pressure and the resistance from my hand. It knows that I'm holding it, so it doesn't prompt me to say, oh, give the wheel a little bit of a push. But today it's feeling it, or it's prompting me more, most likely because of the bad weather. So it is what it is, and I don't mind, obviously, because it's better to know that I'm there than not. So it's just trying to do the right thing. Okay, come into a good stop here. And then it'll come to a full stop. Okay, let's go. It's moving. I didn't have to prompt it to move or anything. What's interesting is, when I drive at night with the FSD, paying full attention, of course, it's able to do it just fine. So I wonder why in poor weather this performance is degraded. Not sure. Maybe because the street lights are on at night. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one or look into it more. slowing down here for the speed cameras. Not that we were doing that much over, but doing a respectable 2, 3 over or 4, but come back to 25 so the cameras don't get you. Okay, I'm gonna go back up a little bit. Not much. So come into a stop at the signal here. Again, automatic. So far, so good. We'll see how it handles itself on the highway. The guy behind me wants to go right, and I wonder if its hesitation to move forward slowly will upset people. I guess it really depends on the driver. I really don't think the amount of time it takes to accelerate past the signal has ever been a problem. I haven't got honked at a full stop sign yet because the car comes to a respectable full stop like you're supposed to, and then cautiously move forward. I haven't received a honk for that yet, so that's something. So I'm beginning to wonder if indeed my encounter at the roundabout was because of me coming to stop. Again, I have to look at the footage, and I'll put a caption below to see what really happened. Okay, good execution on the yield here. I didn't do anything. I didn't have to prompt it or anything. This guy to my left is eager to get past me. I don't think he'll make it. Good. All right, here we go, highway on a rainy Maryland day. Okay, we merged into the right lane. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to turn it off. Here we go. Good, we're looking at a 35-minute arrival time. Now, when I take the exit for this place, it's a little country roadish, so I may not want to self-drive on that road today. It's bad weather and all that. We'll see if it behaves itself. And like I said, I'm guarding the wheel, foot's next to the brake. Any issue I take over, and I'm paying full attention. So we'll see, play it by ear. Now, there are 2 routes that this car does to get to that place. One of them is more country than in the other. So if we go the other way, the way that's less country, then we'll be fine. But if it goes the more country way, then we won't be. Because even in good weather, it's kind of a lot of twists and turns and a lot of loss of visibility when you're going up to the top of the hill and the car slows down because it can't see past the top of that hill there. So I don't blame it. Car is automatically slowing down, let this guy in. All these things are still fine. Nothing's really degraded there. The warning for the poor weather detected and the full self-driving may be degraded warning keeps popping up. And rightly so, for those people who take it too easy. Give the car wheel a little movement here and let it know I'm here. Avoid the prompt. Stay out of the curve. Get into a habit so it doesn't have to tell me. Car slowing down to let this dump truck in, or garbage truck. All automatic, not moving my foot. Only time I had to move my foot today was to prompt the car to move forward at that roundabout where that guy was getting upset. So, not bad. And again, guys, if I thought that car was going to slow down that much, I would have moved forward. I did not know that. I wasn't trying to upset the guy. I don't do things just for YouTube. Okay, got a prompt from the vehicle. Just moved my wheel to the right here a little bit. This motion here lets the car know I'm here. If you do it too much, the autopilot will disengage. You get to practice that over time and you'll get it right eventually. Just know how much to put so the car wheel moves just enough for that prompt to go away. Best practice is to keep your hand on the wheel at all times. But yeah, I don't do these videos to upset people. I did not know it was going to slow down like that. Never had a problem in the roundabout, even in poor weather before. So, who knows? First time for everything. Those of you keeping score, I'm on full self-drive mode on Assertive. I have not clicked minimal lane changes, so it could change lanes as much as it wants to during this trip, which I can override and say don't change lanes if I want to. Okay, so far so good. And for those of you keeping score, I'm on version 11.4.4, just behind what's hardware 3's on. I'm on hardware 4. I'm driving a 2023 Model Y long range. They have not upgraded our software, our FSD software, to, I want to say 11.4.7 point something. So slightly better updates. From what I'm understanding, we're a few months behind. We'll see if that works with Elon time, if we're truly a few months behind or a year behind. Whatever it is, we're going to have to wait. Not like I have a choice. Alright, traffic's picking up. This weather makes sense. Cars coming to a slowdown. I wonder if it was just slowing down for this vehicle pulled over. I don't know. Okay. Car's being cautious today and works for me. Car wants to move over here to this lane. Makes sense because that's where we're headed. We're not heading to Hagerstown. We're heading towards Baltimore, which the car has immediately corrected. Good job, car. Those are the kind of things, I guess, degrades in the weather. I don't understand why, because it's got the maps. So maybe the maps and the cameras disagree, who knows? I gotta get some defogging action here. So let's turn off the AC, which the defogger on. We'll increase the temperature in here a tad. It's kind of getting cold. All right, let's see what happens here. I think that's the defogger for the front. See what happens. So it looks like the max speed limit gets limited in poor weather conditions. Interesting. When I try to go past 65, which is the max speed limit here, it doesn't like it. So it's a safety feature I was not aware of. Good to know. I'm going to try to stay in the middle to the right lane. That's some heavy rain coming down, guys. Visibility is coming down. I'm going to increase my wiper here, speed to maximum. I cannot see that much past. It actually degraded the max speed limit now to 60, even though the speed limit's 65. So if I want to go any faster, I'm going to have to take it off FSD. Hands on the wheel, legs next to the brake. I'm not worried. It's not doing anything erratic yet. Middle lane, I'm going to stay here. Okay, applied some pressure to the wheel as requested. It's a good safety feature to have, not gonna lie. Visibility is poor, as you can see. It's prompting me again to move my hand. Again, I think the poor weather is making it nag me more, which is a good thing. I'm not gonna complain. Should be ready to take over at a moment's notice regardless, well, good weather or not. See what the cameras are seeing. Oh yeah, that's pretty bad, especially in the back there. You can see the bad visibility it has. Asking me to move the wheel yet again. Makes sense. We'll see, guys. If this keeps up, I want to take it off autopilot, but I mean, it hasn't done anything stupid. It's maintaining my lane, which is great. Won't let me go faster, which is okay. Now, I don't know if they coat the cameras with some sort of chemical to make it less water clingy. Hydrophobic is the right word, I think. I don't know if that's a thing. I should look into it. Although I don't know if the chemical itself will degrade the visibility of the camera. You don't want to do that just to make it hydrophobic, but we'll see. Might have to do some research on it. Any of you know, leave it in the comment below. Okay, another prompt. Speed limit's now 70, but it won't let me go past 60. So if I want to go any faster, it's on me. I'm just going to stay here at 60. Let FSD do its thing still. Haven't seen it do anything dumb yet, or unsafe, or even it implies that it's going to do anything unsafe, so I'm going to keep going. Drink my coffee here. Oop. That prompt was too much force. It disengaged the autopilot. Put it back on. That disengagement was on me. It's not automatic, for those of you keeping score. So originally I thought we were going to leave at 9:45, so I had the battery and the car climate. So I had the battery, what do you call that, pre-warm for 9:15 a.m. So the battery warmth was brought up, or what do you call that, preconditioned, if you will, correctly, so that it could be ready to go at 9:15 a.m. along with the cab and the climate temperature. But I only left at 9:45, so there was obviously some battery drain on the climate control, working for an extra half an hour, keeping my car nice and ready for me to go. So the battery power drained a little bit more in the garage, just waiting for me to leave. Not a big deal, just pointing that out. Should always precondition your battery before leaving if you can help it. In my opinion, you should set it up. Like, even if you realize in the morning of you're going somewhere, if you know an hour or two before, just set it up to precondition for you to leave. It'll warm the battery up correctly and make it ready so that it maximizes its potential, and also warms it up appropriately without degrading the battery. So if you're in like an extreme climate and all of a sudden you have to drive it and you have to make it warm real fast, probably not good for the battery. But if you precondition it, it'll warm it up correctly and have it ready to go for you. It'll extend the life of your battery. So even if you know within an hour or two, do it. No harm, no foul. Doesn't mean you have to set it up the night before. Okay, and prompts are pretty high, and that's okay by me, even though I have a death grip on the wheel. My foot here next to the brake. Outside the speed limit requirement, which still won't let me go over because the conditions are just that bad, I don't see any degradation in performance. Well, the roundabout thing was interesting. Outside of that, not too bad. Moving the wheel on my own. Stay ahead of the prompts. Of course, if you keep ignoring the prompts, eventually the autopilot will disengage. Can't use it for the rest of the trip. You have 5 disengagements. I believe there's a ban for a little while. Forgot what that was, so I'll have to look it up later. I don't want to do it now in this bad weather and be distracted from looking outside and making sure I'm safe in my surroundings. I think the weather's clearing up a bit. Nah, not really. The back camera is getting it the most, with the water droplets right in front of it. Side camera's not so bad because probably just the movement is pulling the water off the camera. It's just the back camera doesn't have that luxury. It's mostly facing rain coming from above. Anyways. So far, so good, so safe. So far, no problem. Just got to keep my accelerator ready near the roundabouts. A lesson learned in bad weather. I think I'm just going to do that anyways in roundabouts, because I've noticed in the previous video when I was trying to make link in the description below if you haven't seen it. I did a video on turns, yield, stop signs, and going into roundabouts with and without traffic. It perfectly executes all those functions, but when I was shooting that video in one of the roundabouts I was in two roundabouts. One is narrower than the other, and it didn't like the narrow one. At one point it came to a stop. So that was interesting. I think it's just very sensitive about space. But that was in good weather, so who knows. But 99% of the time, roundabouts, I haven't had an issue. I had that one stop, or almost stop in the roundabout the other day. It was a narrow roundabout. First time it had been there on autopilot. Maybe that was it. Probably, hopefully learned from it. But today was the only time it stopped at that roundabout, probably due to the visibility. Which I didn't think was that bad there. But who knows? Another prompt. I should have checked which country roadway it was going before we left and chosen the more amenable one, but didn't think about it. I'm going to position myself in the right lane by telling it to go to the right. Just by pushing on the right turn signal, it moved me to the right automatically. Safely executed in this poor weather. I just didn't want it to come over at the last minute in this poor weather. I just wanted to stay here. And I know it's not going to go back over because we don't have to go any faster because it's not letting me anyways because of the poor weather. So I know it'll stay here and not try to force me back into the other lane because we're trying to go faster, which we are not. That's what it would usually do with the assertive mode, try to keep you in a fast moving lane. Sometimes it puts you all the way to the left and it's not going fast enough. That's starting to probably upset the drivers behind, so I put it in the middle lane and I try to keep it there. Or I tell it minimal lane changes once I'm happy. But won't be a problem today. I know it'll stay here because we're pretty slow traffic today, this particular vehicle. .5 miles from exit 68. I don't see the rain letting up at all. Maryland hasn't gotten a lot of rain this year, so I'm not going to complain about this. We need the rain. Certain areas of Frederick, Maryland are floodplains because we prone to flooding. So we have a stormwater catch near my house, or I don't know if that's the right word, but that's been bone dry this year. I've never seen the bottom of that in all those years I lived in the neighborhood, so that was interesting. to see the bottom of that. You can see the bird standing in like almost no water, like puddles of water. I bet you that thing will get a little filled up today, which is a good thing. No flooding will happen, and it'll support the birds. Yeah, rain is picking up here. See some trucks pulled over. Like I said, outside of the roundabout fiasco, I haven't seen any crazy braking here on the highway, or unnecessary braking, or out of character braking. Is the weather good enough to increase the speed? Nope. Still says it's not okay. This guy's taking advantage of the light let up in weather. It's got to make his deliveries to Walmart. I understand. People need their snacks and food, their milk. This car's pulled over here. All right, this comes our exit. And it's saying we're going to go over. Okay, safe execution here. So far, so good. Weather's also let up. That's helpful. Gotta keep an extra eye on what's going on. The back camera's still a little wet and droppy from the water. We gotta go right here, so let's see if it can do that. Good. Wants to stay on the right. Good for you. Then I can't increase the speed. Oh, I can. Good. Perfect. Okay, we're at a yield. It's really accelerating to 55 here. But it's safe. So that's the speed limit, 50, so it's going over based on the offset that I've set for it. It's changing lanes again to keep away from the right only lane, which is great. Good job. No complaints. About 4 miles from my next turn, so just keep an eye on this road here. Make sure it's following the speed limit. Right now it's 50, it's doing 55. But make sure it doesn't miss a speed limit in case it changes. I don't have them memorized on this route yet. So I see a 50 coming up, which is still good. It'll stay at 55. See the visualization sees the 50 speed limit there, which is good. Applying slight force as requested. Oh, auto-corrected, good. I always forget that it does that. Getting my foot closer to the brake. Not touching or tapping it, keeping it next to it. On guard. Okay, a little prompt there, good. Gave it what it wanted. Car slowing down to keep up with the traffic. Give it a movement myself, keep it happy. Okay, 14 minutes still left to go. Like I said, I might disengage the autopilot if we take the less favorable country route, and I can't say which one we're on just yet. I think we're on the right one, the good one, because the other one had a lot more turns before getting to the final road, and I can already see the final road here as in listed, so I know it's got fewer turns, and I don't see any twists and turns here like I usually do with the less favorable route. So I think we're on the correct route. Good. I have to remember this route so I can program it again for next time we come here. So we take the correct route that the FSD likes. I see a speed limit sign coming up, still says 50, but the third car in front of us, which is the lead of the pack, is going at much slower speed, so it's not able to go to 55, and it's slowly accelerating back up as this guy got off and slowed me down a little bit. So now it'll go to 55, but the guy in the front of the pack will slow us down again. He's being cautious. See windy roads coming up. Cars doing 51 here, 50. Wheel a little tight little movement here. Speed limit 40 is coming up. I got a warning that says on the street there's a 40 speed limit coming up. So let's see if the car recognizes that in a second. When it sees the sign, it should. I haven't had a problem with that yet. See the 40 speed limit sign coming up. Okay, and the car detected it. Good. Yeah, this is the route we're gonna have to take to come here. It's perfect. Few twisty turns, few windy roads, few blind spots for the FSD cameras. Even on a poor visibility day like this outside the nag, it's pretty safe. Speed camera corridor. Speed limit 30 coming up. Let's see if the car picks it up. No reason why it shouldn't. It's showing up on the visualization, and it picked it up. Good. Because it's photo enforced. Now that should be the reason why you speed if there are no cameras. As Ruxin says in the league, you keep it small. A little hesitation there, but it's picked up this road. It's gonna wait to turn. Better keep an eye on this. Tight turn. Doesn't like tight turns. So I can't let it stop as soon as it turns in case somebody else is turning behind me. And there's a car wanting to turn behind me, so let's see if it makes this turn. Good. Good. I was actually getting ready to press on the accelerator as I needed to, keep the traffic flow going, but did a nice job. All right, well done. Well done, FSD. This is the route to take. Up the speed up to 40 and a 35 here. It's letting me do that now. Signal coming up. Okay, we're about a mile away, making the next last turn to where we need to be. And our destination's on that road. The severity of the weather seems to be down. Still raining, still cloudy, still poor visibility overall. Not as bad as it was on the highway. Okay, car's moving. Doing a nice job. Cautiously ramping up to the speed limit. New speed limit's coming up. And it detected it and slowing down appropriately. I'm gonna bump it up to 35 here. 0.8 miles to our next turn. Aha, this time I proactively moved the wheel just as the car was prompting, so I think we're getting in sync. Subconsciously, I'm getting used to the fact that it's gonna ping me at a certain time and I'm doing it. I would like to think that. Probably not true, just a coincidence. Slowed the car down for the camera. I don't know what the threshold is. I don't want to upset it. Not supposed to go here. Oh, we are? Or we are not. I don't know. I don't think we are. Now it's coming back to the other lane, which is fine. So we weren't. I think it was just trying to stay on the slower lane. If it does it here, I'm gonna have to tell it not to do that. Again, I don't know this route as well, so had I known that, I would have just told it to stay where it was, which I could do by just moving my indicator the other way to say, nope, stay here. That's how you negate any prompt from the FSD. If it wants to go right, push it down to the left, it'll stop and stay where you are. Looks like this is our turn. No indicator yet. Okay, there's the indicator. And it's going for it. Good job. I think that was a perfectly executed turn. I'm glad it didn't just slap on the brakes after it came through the yellow there. That would have been bad. So the programming on that worked out. So we're just gonna have to stay on this route and we arrive at our destination. Not bad for a bad weather day. That roundabout incident aside, I think we pulled off pretty well executed drive. Always got to pay attention, but I mean, I didn't do anything unsafe. I even controlled my speed limit, which I thought was great. I'm going to end this video close to our destination. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe. Now we know what to look for in bad weather. Again, this is one example. I'll do more videos in bad weather safely as possible. When you're driving in bad weather, trying to replicate what I'm doing here, keep your hand on the wheel, always pay attention, keep your foot next to the brake and accelerator. You never know when you need to push it, just like I did with the roundabout there. Wasn't expecting that. So something to be aware of for you and for me. So always keep safe and have fun driving. Leave comments if you have any in the description below, and enjoy your Tesla. If you're interested in buying one, let me know. I'll send you a referral code, save 500, and I get some supercharger points. I'm gonna just keep driving here for a few more minutes. If you want to keep watching, you can do that. You can see the nice last bit of the windy country roads that exists on the other trail, way more, but very little on this one. As you can see, it slows down as it's not able to see through to the other side. So it can't see on what's on the other side of the mountain, so it's being cautious. And this is in good weather too. This happened last week as well when I came through here. So that's not a poor weather thing, just FYI, in case you're keeping score. Coming up to a stop sign. Mm-hmm. 3 minutes.
Oh, good.
I haven't gotten a honk yet on a well-executed stop sign that the Tesla does yet, which is surprising. Which is a good thing. Alright guys, about 1.5 miles from the destination. I'm going to end it here. See you on the next one.